My father was murdered 6 weeks before Christmas of 2016. Right away, the media took off, spun out stories, while my family and I were trying to deal with the initial fact of my father being gone. He was a caretaker and a provider, and after many legalities, trying to figure out the real story, I had been put in a position, being his oldest son. I had to fly to Mexico on a red-eye flight, landing down, initially starting our trip off in Cancun. From here we would drive over 1,000 kilometers in 4 days, searching for the truth to bring justice to my father. This journey was difficult, meeting with news stations, prosecution, courts, jail, and it all started off in Cancun. Arriving at the consular office or international affairs, where we were greeted. From there we drove to Merida to the Fiscalia, the head of prosecution. Carrying on, we were brought to smaller offices in Progreso, and I had to give fingerprints, signatures, and everything else for full disclosure when the time comes. From here, I decided within myself that I wanted to visit the jail of the accused murderer of my father. I was unable to see him, but I continued to press forward. I went to the property and crime scene which the incident took place. Here I learned that there was a cop surveying the property for 24 hours. Continuing on, I went to the news stations, newspapers, the Yucatan Times. I visited the funeral home to which my father was buried. This is a temporary placement until the trial is concluded. Being led through rows and rows, we were finally here, where my father has been laid to rest. For a time being, until this tragedy is over. I remain strong. I remain true. I will not stop fighting until justice is served. And this is where you come into play. Thank you for taking the time to view my story, my family's story. We are going to work through this diligently, tirelessly, until my father is home, until he is able to be laid to rest in Victoria. The campaign and fundraiser that I'm trying to initiate and establish is for a number of reasons. There are countless efforts from our government to support, but due to the nature of the incident, there are things that are involved that may go far beyond the costs that we are foreseeing. So my intention is to raise $100,000 for any extenuating costs for a funeral, for proper burial, for services, for family support, bringing them down to the trial in Mexico. Additionally to this, my father has a mortgage that I would love to see be supported in some way. It was the home that he built with his own 2 hands, and myself and my 3 younger brothers, as well as the rest of the family, do not want to see this house dissolve away when it's something that was his legacy. He was much more of a man than many people could ever believe there was a depth and power to him, and that's now being placed into me, the legal son, to take care of his company, his business, to manage everything. And there are countless other variables put into this equation. So with whatever funds are supported, created for this situation, anything additional to what I've stated before will be placed into trust funds for my younger brothers. They are all under the age of 16 and still have a life ahead of them. I want to ensure that I can do everything that I possibly can to support their future. And I will not stop fighting until I see conclusion for my father. So thank you for taking this time to hear what one other family is going through, and may it touch your heart, and may you please share, express on Facebook and online and through media that justice will be served. You can go to gofundme.com/Roger Corbett. You can look my personal Facebook up with Daniel Corbett, Corbett, and I openly surrender to what community and the world has to offer. My family thanks you. My father thanks you. Until next time.